Welcome to The Big Picture. I'm Phil Arno. Once in a great while, we run into someone who makes a difference in this world. Not a little difference, a smile-inducing, memory-making, heartwarming difference. You know the type. Someone who walks into a room and the lights seem to be a little brighter. The energy seems to break out into a few more smiles. Joey Giambra was that sort of person. He loved Buffalo, and certainly Buffalo loved him. Sadly, Joey passed recently at the age of 86 after fighting the coronavirus. But the energy that was Joey Giambra, the smiles that he created, the memories that he leaves us, well, those will live on in the pulse and the spirit of all who are part of the family that is Buffalo.
The leaves of autumn and the rains of spring, summers on the shore, snow white December, the buffalo that I adore. I love you, Buffalo.
And now I want to welcome to The Big Picture some friends who were close to Joey. Actress, singer, and theater icon Mary Kate O'Connell, actor and impresario who runs the new Phoenix Theater in Buffalo, Richard Lambert, and filmmaker Harry Lipsitz. Joey was quite the guy, and he touched a lot of people here in Buffalo, and you guys knew him. I mean, he basically, like I said in the intro, he brought smiles to everyone, and he was kind of a man for all seasons. Many, many talents, writer, actor, singer, you name it. The guy had talent. He knew how to do a lot of different things. Let's talk a little bit. Mary Kate, you knew him a little bit. You performed with him, I think, on one or two occasions. Tell me a little bit about your memories.
We did Born Yesterday together, and we played the two leads. And that was with the Queens Players. That was, ages ago. And Joey and I have done some infomercials and commercials together, and a momentous ride up to Toronto to have us all in one car going up to film a commercial is always in my heart and in my brain, because it was so fun. It was just so funny. But I've known Joey for many, many years, and more than performing with him, I just loved him, and he was a good friend. And whenever you put it right there with Phil when you said he lit up a room. When I last saw Joey, it was at a performance at Jewish Repertory, and the whole lobby was abuzz that Joey Giambra was there. Me too. And we had a funny thing happen during Born Yesterday. I was sharing this with the fellas. When Joey, his character at the end of the first act is the rough guy Brock, and he has to slap my character across the face and say, "You're not going anywhere." And so Joey was hitting me with his left hand, because he was a lefty, right, Harry?
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, He hit me with his left hand because it was a natural, it's his instinct, right? And I said, "Can you not hit me on my left side? It's a little sensitive." And he said, "Okay, yeah, sure." And so he hit me on the right side, but when he marked it, he just marked it. He just didn't want to hurt me. I think the word that rang out was, "You're hurting me." But he just marked it. And then opening night, Joey said to me, "Okay, right, not left." Those were his final words before the hit. And then opening night, I get a crashing hit from my left cheek and threw me up stage to the scenery and lights. And I kind of center myself again, and our two co-stars, Gary Glore and John Biscaglia, went up to Joey and said, "What the heck are you doing?" He said, "What did I do? What did I?" Said, "You cracked Mary Kate across the cheek." He said, "Oh no. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, all right. I'll bring food for every double day. Every Saturday, I'm bringing food."
That makes it better. Like. Yeah, actually, food makes everything better, right? That's the
well,
the
Joey's
Sicilian
food made everything
the Sicilian way. Yep.
Yeah.
No problem. Yeah. Harry, you were very, very close to him for the last number of years, and kept us all kind of up on what Joey was doing on social media. Tell us a little bit about recently what Joey was going through.
I really think Joey had a lot that he was looking forward to still. I think there was a lot of projects he was still planning on doing, and I know he was really looking forward to a lot of things in the future. He was excited, I think, a lot still about his future, and it was definitely, it took him way too soon. He had a lot left that he was planning on doing, and he talked a lot about projects. I mean, one thing that Mary Kate and Richard and I were just speaking about was the fact that he was, always doing something. He was just had this creative energy and just a constant drive. I think a lot of times that was one of the reasons why he was so easy for him to form relationships with younger folks like myself. I mean, he had relationships with so many different kinds of people, young, old, different races, different cultures, different ethnic backgrounds, people in different places too. It's really going to be a loss for so many people and so many people in this community too.
Yeah, that's what, one of the things I was going to ask is whether you think he left anything on the table, because a guy like that who basically thinks young, I mean, he doesn't slow down with age. He never seemed to slow down. And this guy had so many different talents, and you kind of put your finger on it. He went from project to project, always thinking. I mean, this guy, Joey, was creative with a capital C. He basically kept on thinking and kept on coming up with things to do. Richard, I mean, you couldn't stop him. I mean, he always had some place to go and something to do.
We did a bunch of shows together, and I'm realizing now that they all had loosely the same theme. A man in a certain set of circumstances wanting to better himself in some way, escape the life he's in for the life that he's always dreamed about. When we did House of Blue Leaves, it was a man who was a singer and a songwriter and a local one, but wanted New York, wanted Broadway, wanted to go out to Hollywood, wanted to leave his wife, wanted to leave everything to achieve that dream. When we did Prelude to a Kiss, I got to be married. I got to be married to Joey on stage. It starts with an elderly man who's sick with cancer and dying, and he passes a wedding and he sees a beautiful couple, young and gorgeous with life all ahead of them. And he wants so badly to recreate his life, to start fresh, to do something new, that he wills himself, his essence, his body into the body of the young bride. And magic happens, the trees blow and we hear music, and he's transformed himself. He's left his 87-year-old cancerous body into the young girl to start life all over again. But always to reinvent. Whenever he was in a room, there was always one project he was finishing and several that he was starting, simply with the seed of a conversation. Hey, have you ever thought about this? That's how our American Buffalo came about, with Phil Nerzer and Michael Guida, just a conversation with Robert Waterhouse. But like an old friend of mine, Eric Bentley, who was older, like 100 and something, always a project. There's always something next. And even before you finish one, it's planting the seeds for something else, be it film, be it a project, just absolutely everything. Like Artie Shaughnessy, the singer, the songwriter, the playwright, the actor, the saxophonist, the pianist, everything. He had so many pots in that big Italian pot of his that was always stirring. The room was always different. There was always an energy when Joey was there. Not that he was bouncing off the walls, but he was almost in a Pope-like way. He sort of drew you all in and you wanted to be a part. I felt cooler 30 years ago when I met Joey, because his finger was always on something, and I could be taken to a different place, a cooler place, just because I knew Joey Giambra and he was in the room.
You know, Joey, there were so many aspects to this gentleman, so many different directions that he could go into, from singing to writing to acting. He produced a tremendous documentary about Italian Americans coming to Buffalo. I mean, I really like that documentary, that, you know, docudrama, if you will. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll come back, and we're going to talk about some of the proudest things that he's done, and how he might like to join this conversation, what he would be saying right now. Stay tuned. Interesting conversation. We'll be right back after this.